like I like it!
Pretty big fish to fry. Pretty big fish to fry. My, oh, my. Pretty big fish to fry. Pretty big fish to fry. My, oh, my. Last weekend I very thought I'd make it out alive. Told myself I'd take some time and give the world a try. I wasn't right. My, oh, my.
It is Tuesday, November the 7th, 2017. You're checking out the premier sports and beer podcast coming to you from all over this great nation of ours, but roots in New Jersey. It's Lowen Outside, lowenoutside.com. We thank you for taking the time to join us on this fine November evening. It's raining here where I am. I don't know if it's raining where you are, but it feels very biblical in the rain. So we are hopefully going to put that to bed. Let's get started, boys.
Why don't you go back home to your strip malls and drink your Zimas and Smirnoff Ices? Oh yeah! The greatest beer in all the world!
Somebody from the bar.
Yeah, I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. Cause I'm feeling kind of parched. Sticking in the fridge, sticking in the fridge.
Tonight I'm going with a Leinenkugel Snowdrift Vanilla Porter. It's getting to be the porter season for my palate, and I'm rocking the Snowdrift Vanilla Porter by Leinenkugel, 6.5, checking at 6% alcohol by volume. So nice drinkable porter. My favorite time of the year for beer is around this November when the pumpkin stuff starts to go away and the darker stouts and porters start to round into form. It's my favorite time to drink beer. So from our nation's capital, David Yampo, welcome.
Hello. You know, my the only porters I like are the ones who open the doors for me.
Okay. But I'm
not a big porter fan, but from pumpkin to porter and back to pumpkin, I'm drinking the last Flying Dog, the Fear Imperial Pumpkin Ale. Checking it at 9%.
Thought that was a heavy hitter.
It is a heavy hitter. I drank a few of these last weekend, and my wife was mad at me.
Well, drink responsibly. Bubby, Denville.
Hey. It is porter season. How great is that?
That's awesome.
Doors opening everywhere.
I started to call this red wine season this year. I've gotten big into reds on Friday nights.
We got to get some Nick's homemade red wine then.
Ugh, that fucking.
I would love to have some. Bolero Snort, Strawberry Cream Pop IPA.
Wow.
You guys are drinking desserts.
Wow, that's a lot going on right there.
Yeah, it is. You know, they
say that one more time.
Strawberry Cream Pop IPA.
Okay.
Where do you find this stuff?
I found this at Bottle King by me, actually.
Interesting.
How's it taste?
It's good. I'll tell you what, they do an orange creamsicle.
Yeah, I think
IPA, which didn't do much for me. Tasted very much like a malty IPA, and I didn't get a lot of the orange creamsicle to it. This one, I think, does a better job. It's got a nice vanilla strawberry cream to it. And it's 6.3%, I think. So it's not like it's not going to kill you. It's not the lightest beer in the world, but it's not one of those like crazy double dry hopped, 8.5% IPAs.
Okay.
So
would you say it's overly creamy?
So overly creamy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you have like an orange one and then the strawberry one?
Yeah, like consecutively.
Yeah, like one after another.
I would definitely have back to back.
And a belly to belly.
I tried to set that up so many times the week that you were out.
I heard it was just a fucking flop.
Just nobody would bite. All right, let's go.
Who cares?
Bubby, why don't you take the lead on these because you put a lot of these together.
I did put a lot, and I'll defer to some that I didn't. So
Sounds good.
I was trying to find the rundown because there's a giant picture of Porzingis in the middle of it.
Damn right. Like everyone does have a giant picture of KP6.
So to kick off, who cares? Probably my biggest who cares of the week. Josh Gordon admits to taking drugs and alcohol before every NFL game he played in, and I'll go for the low hanging fruit and say, well, if I was in Cleveland, I would too. But this guy's trying to get back in the league, and I don't know. I guess he's trying to. The Browns coach said maybe he's trying to. This is part of the recovery process, and admitting these things out in the open are part of cleansing him and his soul. But this is just a terrible look for a person that's trying to get back into the league.
He was really good too while he was high. Like
He
that's the worst part to me, right? Is like
I saw the quote this morning, and I didn't read it as he.
you're having trouble with this one already.
I know. I'm having a really hard time. I didn't read it as he got high before games. It said he would go home, get some stuff, and then after the game, win or lose, he would get high and he would go party.
That's not how I read it. How I read it was he would have breakfast. He'd go home, get fucked up, and then go play.
Yeah,
But
or
yeah, I guess
have a
he would
little
do-
bit of something. Smoke a joint and have a.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I caught that. And then it was party time afterwards.
Right.
And then he would go out after every game, which I don't care what players.
I would do.
Like I don't really care about that. That's not a big thing. I just thought it was just such a shitty look, and it was like, all right, yeah, but you know what, Josh Gordon, you've been caught with drugs a million times. Like, who cares?
Right.
Who
Right.
cares?
But the question is like, you rewind like 25 years. Like Lawrence Taylor was probably cooked for every game he played, right?
Kidding me? He was so high.
I'll have to say allegedly here, but isn't there allegedly video of Michael Irvin taking hits from a crack pipe on a sideline while he was playing?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I believe that exists. Yeah.
How does that? There's video of it. How the hell does that even happen?
I've heard there was video of it. Now,
How does a crack pipe make its way to an NFL sideline?
I could see that happening pretty easily. You couldn't.
How about how far we've come that like Irvin was able to smoke a crack pipe in the sideline and everybody was like, but Mark Sanchez has a hot dog and people lose their fucking shit.
Yeah. God forbid the guy eats a little bit during a game.
Totally nonsense. But do you think it'll affect Gordon getting back? Or do you think it is like his like come to Jesus moment? Like I used to do this, but I don't do it anymore.
But now I don't do that. I don't know.
How are you supposed to believe him?
Exactly. Somebody again has to take a chance on him, which is right now going to be Cleveland, and they'll
They still have
probably
a contract, right?
and they'll probably get burned again.
Yeah, but listen, the guy
No pun intended.
Yep.
he put up Pro Bowl numbers.
He led the league in receiving yards one year.
Right. So realistically, if he's high as a kite,
Who cares?
I don't care. Go ahead.
I don't know. It just bums me out because like I had these same hopes for Martavius Bryant, and he's such a dud now.
That's true.
So I don't know.
I think Gordon's more talented.
Probably.
Next one you got.
All right. Next one I got is two Alabama players from the 2009 team. They in a story in Sports Illustrated published on Monday. Two guys from the national championship football team accepted cash in exchange for signing their names to memorabilia. Oh my God.
Nobody gives a fucking flying fuck. Who cares?
How horrible. These guys got paid to write their names on something.
I hate people.
Did
I
they
hate people.
did they name who it was?
Yeah, it was two nobodies.
So it's guys that never made money in like the NFL. So like they
Right. So God forbid these kids.
But my bigger beef is with the asshole who decides he needs to break this 8 years ago, like later.
Well, here's the worst part is, like, all right, so that's the headline, right? Is that they were paid for signing memorabilia. You know how much they were paid?
Yeah, like $400.
Yeah, $200 and $400. Like, let the kid take his girlfriend out to dinner or something,
Seriously,
Like,
get a
in
six-pack.
Alabama, that might be rent.
yeah, Marquise Johnson and Terrence Cody. Those were the guys that.
And exactly why it's in Who Cares?
Hit it.
Who cares?
This one I put in there. LiAngelo Ball and two other UCLA basketball players were arrested in China for shoplifting. The UCLA basketball team was in China, I guess, doing something. I'm not quite sure why they were there. Apparently they were at breakfast and the Ball family was there, and obviously sans Lonzo because he's playing for the Lakers. And Chinese officials came into the dining hall where they were and took the kids out in handcuffs, 3 of them.
But you missed the most important part of the story, Jeff.
Which is?
Well, when they went back to their rooms and saw the merchandise that was taken, it was all Big Baller Brand.
They realized that they had been stealing from the American public for at least 6 months.
Who cares?
Brett?
Yeah, tonight, LeBron James, and I guess it's occurring right now as we tape, is going to step on the court for his 1,072nd regular season game, which is the exact same amount of games Michael Jordan's played.
Regular season games.
Regular season games.
And that's it. Hit it.
I mean, yeah, I know we're not deep in the basketball panel tonight, Yampo, with you on here, but you know, then obviously that sparked the media being like, who's got the better numbers?
It's not even close.
Not really. No, not really.
It's not even close. Like, if you're going to actually match them up, the only thing that LeBron's got over him is he's got the amount of finals appearances.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Jordan kicks his ass in almost every category except for rebounds and assists.
I just don't understand why that's not okay. Like, why does that make LeBron less of a player? Like, he's still, like, if not the top 3 players in the league, he's a top 5 player that's ever played the game. Why is that not enough? I don't get it. Why are we chasing this Michael Jordan nonsense?
Because we're a bunch of fucking spoiled brat asshole society.
Because we're nostalgic.
Is that really what you think? Or yeah?
No, you want to talk spoiled brat society? We can get to that in
just a little while. Right?
Just a little bit in the next Who Cares.
I'm so salty today. So there's just a lot of vitriol.
No, this one will be good because you generally hate the team of the next Who Cares. So you should be on fire for it.
You want to do that one first, or do you want to do what I had, which was the Knicks?
No, let's go Knicks.
All right,
go New York, go New York.
We can just easily put this LeBron Jordan stuff.
Who cares?
Right there, because it really doesn't make a difference, and you're never going to prove it anyway. So I don't even know why anybody discusses it. Kristaps Porzingis was named the Player of the Week. I guess last week the Knicks went 3-1. He averaged 33.5 points a game. Shot almost 55% from the field and had just shy of 3.5 blocks a game. I know that they're not going to be any good, and I know that I took the over to get them to whatever it was, 32, 33 wins,
31.
But they're playing well. I mean, they had a nice comeback the other night. They're not playing any defense, which whatever. But Porzingis is putting up. He's averaging well over 30 points for the year. He dropped a 40 spot the other night. He had I think he had 15 or something in the first quarter tonight. And he didn't even look like he broke a sweat. That's
like 10 points more a game than all you ever wanted out of him, which you've said on this podcast multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, I said if he can be a 25 and 10 guy, I think that you've won. And if he's gonna put up 30 and 8, I mean, listen, I wrote an article, at the beginning of this basketball season that the Knicks fan is just searching for that next Ewing type player. And everything that this kid's put up so far this year, and again, it's a very, very small sample size, but everything he's put up this year, he's proven that he wants that. So it's kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of cool to see, with that going down. But there is absolutely no expectation for the Knicks on my part. So
you got to be excited.
I am, but it in the end doesn't make a difference. This one was you, so ride with it.
All right, I got to admit. I headline grabbed on this one. I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't get the full story, so I don't know if anybody else did. But apparently, I guess, on his football broadcast, Tony Romo made a comment about Deion Sanders not being so good at tackling. And what's the word that we use to describe him now? Butthurt. Deion got butthurt. And kind of clapped back at Romo a little bit. And so they had some chatter back and forth, and it's just kind of like,
was there a back and forth?
Via media, right?
I don't know. I think, Romo compared a tackle or the lack of a tackle that a player made in the game on Sunday. And he said, this guy's worse at tackling than Deion Sanders. And
wait, was it Eli Apple?
Yeah, it could have been. Fucking joke. We'll get there, I'm sure.
But listen, we all watched the entirety of Deion's career, right? No,
Yeah.
no one on this podcast will argue that Deion Sanders was not a Hall of Fame football player. He was legitimate and scary to play against in a lot of ways. You didn't want to throw at him. But
No,
he,
you didn't. But
he had an Olay tackling mentality. He just did.
But here's the thing. We must not know everything. The three of us here either don't know some of the past or some of the back and forth that's happened, because Deion just instead of just being like, oh, haha, I'm a Hall of Famer, dust it off, he freaked out.
yeah,
And was like, I got a yellow jacket. You ain't one shit. How's Dak doing? Where are you? Where them boy? Like, he just teed off on every possible Romo comment you could make, like some butthurt little baby.
like a snowflake, right?
He was a snowflake. Wasn't Deion trying to coach at one point too? Like, wasn't he trying to get his name into the coaching circles? Like, he wanted to be a head coach. Do you remember?
Really?
Remember that?
I just remember him, obviously aside from his playing career, in broadcasting. I don't remember him being involved in coaching.
I think like 3 or 4 years ago, he had floated his self promotion, because that's what Deion's been about his entire professional life. I think he floated his name out there that he wanted to coach. I mean, you can't be saying stuff like this and then expect anybody to take you seriously.
No, I mean, and it's all our fault. It's our fault. We create these monsters.
We created Deion. We created primetime.
No, we let this bullshit go on, and we put these guys on pedestals and give them the platform to spew this garbage. And it's just,
You are salty tonight.
I just want everyone to go away.
You're like, I don't even like sports.
You know what though? I do echo the I just want everyone to go away thing. Like, there are definite moments where you just get inundated with all this nonsense, and you're like, I just wish you would just shut the fuck up and just
I couldn't agree more with you.
right. I mean, I don't know. But
I'm there right now.
however, Deion Sanders, when you were playing a video game where Deion Sanders was in it, you were not expecting him to make the tackle, but you were expecting him to jump the route and make the interception. So,
Or do a suicide bunt down the line. If you're playing World Series 95.
Gampo froze up.
Who cares?
Sorry, Yempo, you froze up on me there.
Sorry, bro.
College football.
Sean, what do you think?
Throw it to Sean.
Sean?
Sorry, I've done a promotion. Miller, I can't even do it. What's the Sean voice? I don't even know what Sean voice is.
Let's throw it to Sean.
They are who we thought they were.
That fucking Instagram beefcake.
Okay, that'll do it for Sean. Nice job today, Sean. We
I could just see Sean sitting here and being like, doing his dumb little mannerisms where he's like moving his shoulders. Like, I don't know. I think maybe the guy could be like, shut up, Sean. You don't know shit. You sell beer and you go to college football games. You're a dick.
All right, this took a turn.
He's so mad.
Can we talk about something that you're going to enjoy? Your boys.
Oh yeah, this is a great game, except for the 17-hour delay.
The boys won last week. Why don't you talk a little bit about it? Go.
They
Green.
did.
Go
Did you
Green.
guys watch the game?
Go. Green.
I did.
Oh, go white. Go white.
I watched it from Booten Lanes.
Oh, that's weird.
Nice. Did you have a nice Yingling in your hand?
I didn't. I had a
It had to be like a Miller.
Bud Light.
Yeah, bud.
Yuck.
Aside from the fact that this game had like a 5-hour delay from severe weather, and they came out, played the 5 minutes of the second quarter, and then went back into the locker room for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, which makes no sense to me, by the way. They should have just started playing the third quarter. I don't know, man. It was a hell of a game. I'm surprised, but Michigan State, if they showed up against Northwestern, they'd be sitting in a conversation about Big Ten championship.
Yeah, they would.
Rise this week. They dropped. They rose all the way to, I think it was 12.
Yeah, I think they were like 12 or 13. They were down to 24.
That's what I'm saying. They were at 24, and they beat Penn State and fell all the way to 12, which is ridiculous.
Listen, we've been saying for weeks that this was going to be a rough stretch for Penn State. I don't know how the hell they lost that Ohio State game. But even more surprising to me than the Michigan State-Penn State outcome was Ohio State being 3 touchdown favorites and getting just flat out beat by Iowa.
Yeah, favored by 20, lose by 30.
It's insane. Thankfully, I was on a self-imposed gambling ban, so I didn't place any wagers this week.
But to be fair with Ohio State, they haven't demonstrated that they were definitely going to beat any good team at all this year. I mean, I don't know. I was never sold on Ohio State. Once I saw Oklahoma go into their building and just beat them up, I was never sold that they were legitimate.
If I was putting myself in Sean's shoes right now, I would say that this situation with the Penn State losing to Ohio State, then Michigan State beating Penn State, I think the team that is taking the biggest hit from this is Wisconsin.
Yeah, how would you feel if you were Wisconsin? I'd be pissed.
Wisconsin's,
But they're going to go to the Big Ten championship.
no, it's just a matter of who are they playing, right? It's like they're going to be pinged for not having a tough championship game potentially.
Yeah, probably. But do they play Iowa? Did they beat Iowa, Wisconsin?
I don't know.
I don't know
sure.
either.
That
I wish I knew.
That boy JP looked that up.
Yeah.
Who's it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're going to get their shot, though. I know what you're saying. I agree with you, but they're going to get a shot, And if they win the Big Ten championship,
Yeah, but are they? I mean, are they going to get a shot? Like, who are they going to replace in that top four that's there?
no, I don't know if they're going to get a shot in the top four.
No, they play Iowa Saturday.
Okay, they play Iowa Saturday.
But that's the thing, though, Brett. Like, if they're not going to get a shot in that playoff, then who gives a shit if they win the Big Ten? Doesn't make a difference.
I know, but that's what there's only 4 spots. It sucks, though. It does suck being on the outside.
Tell me you're going to put a team that's undefeated that's won a major conference not in that playoff, and you're going to have 2 teams in there with 1 loss. I mean, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame's the variable there, right?
You got to go back to the preseason. You got to go back to the pre-college one. I was asking, the top 25. I said, what about Notre Dame?
You did say that. I remember you saying that. And I think Sean's response was, what about them?
That's exactly right.
And then he said they trip over the finish line. We're not yet at the finish line. That finish line could very well be Orange
this weekend.
I hope they lose just for the pure fact that Pepe is going to be there and his head will explode. I've never seen, you think I get mad about the Giants? This kid, his entire life is dictated by Notre Dame football.
He will. You're right. His head will explode.
To be fair, he did go there, right?
Yes.
I mean, he was like the student trainer for the team. Like, you're pretty tied to a program that happens.
I guess, but it's just like he is so butthurt. Anyway.
Well, look, at this point, I don't think he has any reason to be ashamed of anything that they do this year, because they weren't predicted to be anything close to what they're at.
And he also, to be fair, isn't gloating. He kind of acknowledges, they are who they thought we were.
And we let them off the hook.
They are who we thought they were.
And he thought they were just some Instagram beefcakes.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna click every sound.
No, I know. I just was.
Jeff, you can't we can't move Georgia out if they went out of
right.
They can't move Alabama out, right? I'd love to see Oklahoma play Notre Dame for the 4th spot.
Like a play-in?
Yeah, like that would be amazing.
That's the next thing, right? That's how they expand the playoffs next year. Like one game, we're going to do a play-in game.
I would just love to see Baker Mayfield against Notre Dame. Like,
first of all, the fact that the top 10 isn't all involved in this is a joke.
I know, but Francesa always used to, people would call all the time and he would yell at them for this argument.
He yells at them for everything, and he's wrong.
And his argument is like, where are you playing it?
Where are you playing
it? What week are you doing?
Where you playing them at? Okay.
You're going to dilute the value of other playoff games where big money is invested. It was just very convoluted argument. I didn't like it because you're off for like a month in college football. Like they play their last game November 30th, and then the big time teams don't play again till like January. New Year's. Yeah. So like, what do you mean?
I think that's the biggest fuck up. I mean, we both played ball, Brett, and those big layoffs like that, and you're like trying to prepare for a game. There's just too much. That's just too much time off.
There's definitely such a thing as too much time. The only benefit you have to that is healing up injuries. But
come on, I mean that's way too much time. I mean.
Yeah, you shouldn't have 4 weeks before you're playing a game to go to the national championship game. It's insane.
I think that look, if you're not gonna work 10 in immediately, you could definitely work 2 more teams in. You definitely work 6 in without breaking a sweat.
Yeah, but then that leaves you with 3.
No, so 2 teams get a bye.
Oh, okay.
Right, 1-2 get a bye.
Yeah, and then the other 4.
3, 6, 4, 5, and then you advance.
And that's it. I mean, to me, that makes way more sense. The odds of you having...
But then we're having the argument like, well, why didn't Wisconsin get the bye? They're undefeated.
Okay, but
And you know what I'm saying? Like the argument doesn't stop; it just shifts.
but at least they're in. Like at least they have an opportunity to play for the national championship.
I think Sean made a good point last week when he said this is one of the first years that they're really acknowledging strength of schedule and style points in your victories. And you know what? If you're blowing teams out and your strength of schedule is harder than the next teams and they're winning and you have the same record, you should be ahead of them.
It's absolutely a travesty that those things weren't factored in previously.
It's ridiculous. But I think it's important that it's done now.
Well, I mean, listen, JP's checking in.
Shocker. This is JP. I'll be in the blue lot this week.
But I think he's got a point, and if either of you want to refute it, go ahead. He said it's kind of a perfect storm that you got two SEC teams and Notre Dame. They're going to leave two conferences out, and that's going to force them to change things.
I don't agree with that.
I don't know if it force them to change things.
Yeah.
Who says all the conferences have to be represented?
They can't be.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, exactly. Like, so you have to be good enough. Who cares if it's 4 from the SEC or none from the Big Ten? Like, be good enough.
Think of it as the NFL playoffs, right? If the NFC East had 3 teams that were good enough, then 3 teams make the playoffs potentially. They win the division and 2 wildcard teams. Right. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it doesn't. But just take care of your own business.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong, but I do think that if you've got major conferences that are not getting in, and that money is left on the table for those conferences, I think that you're going to start to see the greediness of college football rear its ugly head and say, "Hey, where's our love? Where's the Big Ten?"
Only if you have like a consistent, in my opinion, undefeated team or a team that's winning their division, their championship, their conference championship, and they have a 1 loss. Right. And everyone else has 1 loss or 2 of the other teams have a loss. But if these teams are 2-loss teams or whatever,
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. But right now we're in a situation where we have a Wisconsin team that's undefeated. If they run the table, they could be undefeated and miss their shot at the dance. And that to me is crazy.
Yeah, well, that could take care of itself in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I think the solution to that is pretty simple. And that's the other conferences just spend more money to buy better players.
Good point. It's a good point. I mean, I don't know why we missed that in the first place.
Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't even be talking about football anymore. College.
Quick take. What do you have for the game that really let's be fair. The 3 of us are Notre Dame fans. So what do you have? How do you see that game going?
I've turned heel. I've turned heel on Notre Dame.
Yeah, well,
it's more exciting to think about cocaine and hookers in the U than touchdown Jesus and ugly chicks.
Boy.
And that turnover chain.
The best deep boy knock you off your feet.
I can't wait, man. This is exciting.
You know who's amped for this game? Barnshaw.
Is Bonesaw ready?
Bonesaw is definitely ready.
Ready.
I just don't see Miami hanging here. I mean, maybe for a quarter because of the hype and it's a night game and it's a big, 3 versus 10, but Miami's not a very good top 10 team. I've been saying that for weeks. They're not very good.
Have been saying it for weeks. So it'll either prove you right or you'll look like a complete ass after this week. But I think you're right. This is their game. This is their chance to prove that they're legitimate or not, right?
Same for Notre Dame.
Say it again.
Same for Notre Dame.
Sort of. I mean, when you look at Notre Dame's schedule now, the teams that they've beaten, it looks very good. And the fact that they lost to Georgia at that point, nobody thought that Georgia was going to be what they are. So
I just think they also have an opportunity.
Has proven a little bit more than Miami has, don't you think?
Yeah, okay, I'll buy that. I just think they have an opportunity also to just kind of solidify their spot by just going in there and throttling Miami.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. But do you think
a win clinches that for them?
Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think they're going to throttle them?
I mean, I don't even know anymore. This is the weirdest. This has just been an unbelievable football season, college and pro. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen anymore.
Your bank account.
College has been better this year.
College has been better this year.
I would agree. I've become a little bit more of a college fan this year than in previous years. I mean, they got Navy and Stanford. Do they overlook Stanford and make a mistake? Probably not.
No, but they've done that before. They did that with Florida State in the mid-90s, with Boston College in the mid-90s after beating Florida State. And they were number 1.
Navy's had a good year. At one point, they were ranked in the top 25. So they're not a joke.
No.
Yeah, but they're just run the triple option.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But do you see him? You see Notre Dame coming out of this game, Brett?
I actually do. I agree with Dave. I think he hit the nail on the head.
Is your boy Pepe going to go down there with a Catholics versus convicts? Like
He'll be there. He magically scheduled a work trip on Thursday to Miami,
How convenient.
and he's going to be there.
crazy.
Yeah,
Good.
this is crazy.
Let's move on to your favorite topic: the New York Football Giants.
So I'm going to go on the record before we even go on anything on the rundown.
Okay.
And say that given the third opportunity to answer your question that I know you're dying to ask me.
I didn't write it on the rundown.
I did this time.
Oh, is it on there? I don't even know if it's on there.
Go ahead.
I'm just coming out with it right now out of the gate.
Go ahead.
He's gone. I mean, there's just no way.
I'm glad you finally joined the dark side.
It's not possible. I mean, how could after what's going to happen? I have half of the football season left for this fucking franchise. It dawned on me the other day. I'm like, they're 1-7. Oh my God, there's 8 more games. Why? And now I know what it's like to be a Browns fan. But
or a Jet fan, dude.
yeah,
I've lived through this year. It's not pleasant.
There's no way that the owner of this franchise can let this guy get up on the podium or can get up at the end of the season after maybe being, a 2-3 win team, maybe 4, and say,
you think team's going to win 4 games? Where are they getting 4 wins? Where are they getting 3 more wins?
Definitely beating San Francisco.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know. Who knows about that? They could, but the divisional games. Listen, the divisional games, no matter what, are always tight for one reason or another. Divisional games always end up being weird. The Redskins are kind of a weird team. They could take one of those.
Okay,
they could,
and they could beat San Francisco. So that's 2.
That's 3 total.
What do you mean?
That's 3 wins total.
All right, let's go. All 8 games, win-loss. Let's go.
All right, hold on.
A win-loss.
You got to do it in the front. Come on, Mike.
Okay, I'm not gonna get into win-loss. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ready? At the Niners.
I'm gonna say. Ugh. Why is this so hard? I'm gonna say win.
All right, I agree. Win. Chiefs loss.
L.
Redskins.
Oh, this is the Thanksgiving game in DC, right? Prime time.
Thanksgiving
they're gonna do something stupid and they're gonna win that one.
That's an L. That's totally an L. But go ahead.
No, they don't.
I see it as
they do not lose at FedEx Field. I've been there.
All right, whatever. That's 2. Go ahead.
I say L as well. All right, Oakland.
L. Wait, they're going to Oakland?
They're going to Oakland. I have an L there too. Cowboys
That's
at home.
a fucking monster L.
Eagles at home.
Triple L.
Okay.
At Arizona, Christmas Eve.
Adrian Peterson just fucking tears it up. L.
And then home against the Redskins New Year's Eve.
W. They're gonna sweep the Redskins. 4-12.
Okay, that's 4-12 with a sweep of the Redskins.
4-12. But my point, Jeff.
They're going to split with the Redskins. I think they win that last game of the year because I don't think either team's going to have anything to play for. They're going to get maybe.
And by the way, that'll be the 3rd time in 5 years I've watched a Redskins-Giants game on the last day of the year that meant nothing for both teams.
Okay.
What I was saying is there's no way in hell that John Mara gets up on that fucking podium at the end of a season and says, we all had a disappointing season. We didn't come close to any of the expectations set forth at the beginning of the year. We're bringing Ben McAdoo back next year.
I don't think he brings either of them back. Do you? Like, you think Reese has got to be gone too, right? It's got to be just a clean break.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I've been down on Reese for a couple of years. I don't think they fire him mid-season.
I don't think they're going to fire either. If they haven't done it yet, I can't see them firing either of them mid-season, right?
I mean, no. I have no credibility to say the Giants don't fire coaches in the middle of seasons, but
I could see them firing McAdoo in the middle of the season if this thing really goes off the rails.
It's already dude, they're 1-7. How much more fucking off the rails can it?
Yeah, the off the rails could be if he starts to battle and clash with ownership in regards to playing Eli.
That was another question I was going to bring up to you. I'm glad you segued into that.
Because
does his streak end
no
this season?
No, ownership will not do that to Eli. No chance.
He starts every game.
He absolutely should.
They're 1-11.
Doesn't matter.
And they're going to play the Cowboys.
Doesn't matter.
I agree with you, Dave, but I'm not so sure that Ben McAdoo does.
Yeah, but that's the kind of shit that'll get him fired mid-season.
Okay, but so here's my question, right? Because Jerry Reese is clearly, the engine's running, but nobody's behind the wheel. So who's making that call? Who's telling McAdoo he doesn't have the ability to start one of the other kids?
Ownership.
So
John Mara.
But Mara or Tisch comes down and says, "Listen, dude, you're not playing anybody other than Eli Manning unless he's injured and can't go. Don't even entertain it in the press. Don't even say anything like that. He's our starting quarterback. Just finish the year."
Period. Now, they also need to cut ties with Geno. Give him his fucking bonus or whatever. If you want to do right by him, do whatever it needs to do to get his signing bonus or whatever, and his season bonus, and get him out of there and put Davis Webb in. And anybody, if Eli comes out for any reason, Davis Webb should be the next guy in there, not fucking Geno Smith. Geno Smith's going to want to go somewhere next year where he can play potentially or back somebody else up, but he shouldn't even be dressing. You got to start dressing Davis Webb. And then when you're getting blown out 48 to fucking 17 with 8-9 minutes in the game, then put Davis Webb in. But to tell me that you're going to get a better look at a Davis Webb with this offensive line and this offense is a fucking joke.
You're right about that.
I just didn't like the whole, maybe Eli's streak gets shut down.
Stupid.
First of all, it's not Eli's fault that this team is such a train wreck. Granted, he doesn't have the stones to stand up there and say, "This is my team," and it doesn't go down like this. That's never been the player that he is. He's never been that vocal guy. So the fact that people are calling for him to do that now, you were okay with him not doing it when he won 2 Super Bowls, but now that the team's in the toilet, you want him to be something he's not. I just think it's unfair.
I agree. There's only two paths here. One, he finishes out the year and they have a conversation because he signed for 2 more years, and they say they either do right by him and send him somewhere where he can play, or he says, "I want to finish here," and he just decides to retire. And that's that.
Yeah.
What's the benefit to him to go somewhere and be in a weird uniform for a year or two? Let's just take a look at the stats for him. The last couple of years haven't exactly been great, so he's definitely on the downside. He'll be 38 next year, so he's going to be a 38-year-old quarterback. How many teams would really like to pick him up for a full season? 2, 3?
Arizona.
Yeah.
If Palmer doesn't come back. Arizona, he could play for. He could play in Minnesota. They'd have a very good chance to contend.
Bridgewater's going to be back.
Yeah, but we don't know what he's going to be. He's coming off of a complete reconstruction. I agree with you. If he shows any proficiency this year, he's the guy. But right now, if Eli Manning was on the Vikings, they would be a contender.
It'd be classic if Andrew Luck is just so fucked up he can't play ball again, and then he ends up Eli goes to the Colts.
Did you hear that?
Did you hear this? Yeah.
That he might not play ever again?
Well, they'd been talking about that at the beginning of the season, this could be a really big deal, and blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, no, he'll be back before week 6.
But he's not. I heard today that there's talk that he might never play football again.
And I heard today Tony Dungy say that it's all in his head, that Jim Irsay told Dungy that this injury is now all in his head.
But how drunk was Irsay when he said it?
He didn't say drunk. He said he swallowed a lot of pills.
Bad on the Colts franchise for letting a franchise quarterback who could have been your quarterback for 10, 12, 14 years just get the shit beat out of him for fucking 2 years straight. Bad on the Colts.
Very bad.
The Eagles, this has got to sting for you too, though, right? With your team being the dumpster fire that it is, and the Eagles being potentially the best team in football.
Yeah, here's a weird thing about the Eagles team. I've caught a couple games because they've been on primetime, and they've also been on locally when the Skins have a late game. I hate admitting this. I told my buddy Brendan, who's an Eagles fan, they're kind of fun to watch. It's super brutal to admit. It really hurts.
And they just added the kid from Miami too, which adds that was a missing piece from their offense too. The running back Ajayi. I think it's only gonna make them more fun to watch.
I'm like, damn, they're kind of fun to watch. But you know what? I'm gonna take great pleasure when they just fucking fall flat on their face and lose to some asshole team. It's gonna be great.
I don't know. Andy Reid's not there anymore.
Yeah, but Doug Peterson's made some bonehead calls in his short tenure. We'll see. They look good. They deserve to be the number 1, ranked team right now until they are putting the pedal to the metal. Carson Wentz looks good, and who knows?
I gotta admit, I did not see that. I did not see this coming from them.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, this team was 500-ish last year, right?
It's a nice leap. He probably should win coach or could win coach of the year. Brett, I guess this is your line. Are the Falcons officially hungover as fuck?
Yeah, that was me. Well, you could tell by my language.
Yeah.
That was then how in depth and I describe things.
What is going on? What is going on there?
I don't know. They just don't look good. They don't, and it's crazy because
they should have lost to the Jets, by the way.
Yes, they should have lost to the Jets. Absolutely. But
Jets still covered.
Well, I guess that's all that matters to you. But I mean, when you're a team that played in the Super Bowl, I mean, I guess both teams that played in the Super Bowl almost lost to the. Could have realistically
lost to the Jets. Yes.
Yes. Just, they're definitely not who I thought they were. To reverse Denny Green it. I thought that Atlanta would be much better than this.
I can't say I'm surprised because I've seen the Giants do this like 2 consecutive years in a row. Actually, the year after they won the 07 Super Bowl.
So they did that, you would say, like back to back?
And a belly to belly. They I love how we just do it. I did it in a meeting again today, by the way. I was sitting in a meeting and I looked at Brooke, who's technically my boss, and I said, have you ever done anything like that? Like, back to back? And he goes, and a belly to belly. And I'm like, he's in. He's bought in. It's trust the process time in my office.
Trust the process.
The Giants came off the 07 Super Bowl and went 15-1, and then Plaxico shot himself, and then they lost in the first round.
Yep.
But the year after 2012, they were just atrocious. I'm like, it's the same team. It's the same people coming back. They just beat the Patriots. They should at least be competitive, and they stunk on ice. So it's not the first time, but I'm just surprised they came out 3-0, and then the teams that they lost to like the whole AFC East almost, except for the Jets.
AFC least. They should have lost to the Jets because Matt Ryan could not hold on to the football. Like he was like, I don't want this. I snap me the ball. I don't want this.
It's insane. They should. I don't know. They're trying too hard or something.
The Cowboys took down the Chiefs.
I was kind of surprised at the lack of effort of the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean,
the Cowboys aren't that good.
Yeah, but I feel like every team has at least 1 or 2 games where they just really don't show up.
Well, they already didn't show up in the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like with the exception of maybe New England, every team every year I think has 1 or 2 games where they just don't even get off the fuccking bus. And I feel like that
New England's 100% good for that twice a year. 100%.
No,
shut up, Brett.
I'm just telling you, I wish Nicky was here. He would actually defend me. They go down to Miami every year. Brady gets his ass kicked constantly in Miami every year. And they're good for a blowout every now and then. Kansas City kick the shit out of them a couple times. It happens.
Hey, babe.
I got your kill. Shake here.
You had this question, Brett, about Zeke.
I did. Over-under.
Over-under.
On how many more times he's suspended before the season ends. And I put it at 1.5. I think that's a pretty good line.
I need a Francesa rant about this whole Zeke Elliott. I need a whole like Jeff as Mike Francesa soliloquy on this whole suspension, stay, suspension, stay, suspension, stay.
I like really tried to follow it for the first couple times.
I don't
like legally, like trying to be like, okay, what's that mean? Oh, okay. Oh, they get an appeal there. Oh, okay. But wait, the judge can overrule that. Okay. Oh, what's that mean? And it's got too far in the process now that I don't want to read anymore.
It doesn't matter. And look, all that matters is go back to the beginning of the year, listen to whatever podcast, whatever show number it is from us, and listen to my take. I said,
you nailed it.
Elliott will play this entire year, and it will just be pushed off and pushed off and pushed off. And he's going to continue to play unless the Cowboys drop out. If the Cowboys end up have a couple of games skid and they're not going to make the playoffs, then they'll just look at the kid and be like, all right, just fucking sit down. Like it doesn't matter anymore. But
how about all the guys? How about all the bettors who got the Cowboys at +1.5 on the Zeke suspension this past week, and then he's reinstated and the line swings to like
and then boom
3.5. Okay,
whatever.
Fucking Zeke. I hate him too. He's become a villain for me.
I'm glad he's become a villain. The guy's apparently a huge scumbag. Like there's not a single thing that's good about the guy. But
he really does look like one of those Ewoks.
I don't know. I mean, he's clearly talented and he's a fine running back, but
he's clearly a piece of shit.
He's clearly a piece of piece of grade A monkey shit.
Great fantasy running back, though.
Well, do you have him?
I do.
I'm surprised he's gotten this far in the year. Then usually that's
I am baffled every week when I read the suspension on Tuesday and the overturn on Thursday. Every week I'm like, really? That happened again?
maybe this is just all tied.
Wow.
To you. Like it might be just tied to you.
If I just like trade him or drop him, finally one just resolve itself one way or the other.
What do you think about? What do you think about this trade I made this week? C.J. Anderson and Stephon Diggs for Adrian Peterson.
There's nothing more fun than listening to somebody's fantasy football talk.
This is John Anthony here. I'm the $1 million man with the $1 billion plan.
Nope.
Wall Street to Tokyo to Hollywood. All your big money is going to stay and play with me. That's right. That's why they call me the $1 million man.
I would love to tell you that this bit has held up over time.
Oh my God. So what a fucking flop this has been. This bit sucks.
Not only has it held up over time, in my humble opinion, it's improved.
Nobody responded to my text this morning when SportsCenter had a legitimate sports gambling segment called Bad Beats about all the bad beats that happened. Did you see it?
No, but I don't think that should be what your segment. I think your segment should just be on tilt.
Well, I'm on a 2-week.
It's not bad beats. It's you've lost, and then you're finding some in-game bet that you can double up to try to get back right as soon as it happens.
Well, I'll take you quickly through a stroll down memory lane before I put the 2-week self-ban on myself. I had a conversation with Brett, and he kind of scolded me and was like, dude, just stop betting. And I was like, Brett, he's frozen?
I don't know.
Or is he just very stoic? Anyway.
I think he might be frozen. I'm not sure. If you're watching on Facebook Live, we've got Brett. Looks like he's holding 2 knitting needles.
He literally was like, I asked Pepe on a group text, hey, how confident are you in Notre Dame at home versus NC State? And he wrote, stop betting. And then gave me a whole lecture. But anyway, what happened last week, 2 weeks ago, was I started chasing. I got a little boozed up. I put a couple $100 on Washington State. That was a bad idea. They lost. They got killed by Arizona.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I started chasing on Sunday to make it up for it. And this was really the end of the line for me when Le'Veon Bell and the Pittsburgh Steelers, I took them at 1.5 for the first half bet because I want to go to bed. Well, you should never dictate what your bet is because you want to go to bed. Okay. But here I am betting on the first half because I was going to go to bed.
Right.
They're up 10-9. Detroit had just kicked a field goal to put their 9 points on the board. Steelers get the ball. I'm like, there's a minute and a half left. This is it. They're going to take a knee. They're going to run the ball twice and be done. I'm going to lose, and I'm done. Big pass play, followed by another big pass play, followed by a 3rd and 1 on the Detroit 22 where Le'Veon Bell decides, I'm going to fumble the ball. I'm going to cough the ball up. Instead of just getting the yard, not getting the yard, taking a knee, falling down, and kicking the field goal and sending Yampo to bed happy and even for the week, he sent me down by an amount that will not be discussed on this show.
Not good.
And sent me into a 2-week self-imposed ban, to which Cousin Sal of Bill Simmons fame liked my tweet when I told him that I was on a self-imposed 2-week ban until the NFL teams figured their shit out.
So that was how many weeks ago?
This past week was 1 week of the ban. This is the 2nd week of the ban.
That you're taking this week off too.
Yeah, and I might put the toe in the water, but we'll see. I've been really disciplined. Hold
on. 2 week self-imposed ban. So this week is you're gonna take this week off too. Yeah. But I might put the toe in the
No. I mean next week, coming back off the ban, I'm gonna have to see if I pass the drug test.
I thought you meant that maybe this week you might end up pulling the trigger and betting on Rutgers getting 31 points.
Are they really getting 31 points?
What I've heard.
Oh my God! What? Take the fucking. Who's the other team? Who are they playing?
Who cares?
They're playing Penn State, I think, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay. Who cares? Rutgers is 6-0 against the spread this year. That's a JP checking in.
Wait, I don't know who they're playing this weekend, so don't.
I'm not betting on football. If I listen to another podcast, not as good as ours. Guess the Lines, a Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal podcast, and they're having the same problem. Everyone's having the problem this year. There's no predictability.
It is tough. It's been. I mean, I'm not betting, but it's been very difficult to understand who anybody is forget about college football, but definitely in pro football.
It's crazy.
I don't know. Like this week, the Jets are going to Tampa. I don't know who the hell Tampa is. I have no idea. Like they could come out and drop 50. I have no clue.
Well, you know Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be up for this game.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, what Fitzpatrick are you going to get? You're going to get the guy that had the Pro Bowl season, or are you going to get the guy that took a shit in the middle of the field?
I hope you get the latter.
Me too. I mean, discussing.
Listen. So unfortunately for everyone,
they are playing Penn State, by the way.
So they're 31-point dogs at Penn State,
and they're 7-2 against the spread this year.
Thanks, JP. I'm not touching that. See, I'm like itching now. I'm like itching.
Of course, sure.
I've got hives. I'm going to take this week off again. So week 2 of the ban, and I'll be back.
Okay. Well, you heard it here. When you're on tilt, need a 2-week ban.
Hang on, bartender. Give me one more of those Scotch and Peptos. I got a case of squirts, but I still want to drink.
A last call for alcohol.
So what you need?
One bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
All right, we're at the end of our line here tonight. Thanks for taking the time and listening, because Yempo was all sorts of fired up.
So angry.
Looks like the Cavs and the Bucks. The Bucks pulled off a big trade today. I don't know if any of you saw it. They got the kid from Phoenix coming over there.
Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe is going to come over and play point guard there for the Milwaukee Bucks. That's a huge deal. I think I put them in my over under for the line. I think that pushes them way over. But the Greek Freak tonight continuing to just destroy. He's 15 of 19 from the field with 37 points against the Cavaliers right now.
He's a monster.
It's almost unfair, to be honest with you.
I need to lock in those Wizards Bucks tickets now, because I was going to grab those because those weren't a premium, but now that should be a good game.
Listen, the Zards would be wise to have those be a premium game.
The Zards.
And then let's switch over real fast to the box score of the Knicks game. Knicks are down 10 at home to Dwight Howard and the Charlotte Hornets. Third quarter, Porzingis got 21 points, so he cooled down significantly after that first quarter.
I wish they were playing Muggsy Bogues, and
I wish they were too, and but only NBA Jam style.
You've made me nostalgic again over the course of this podcast for the glory days, which weren't even really glory days because they didn't win, but
they were pretty glorious.
They were that was just a great team to watch.
All right,
look at you. You're looking up. You're smiling.
I am. I got my Knick hat on. I'm I got no more Phil Jackson in the front office. I don't have to worry about any of the nonsense.
Ugh, gross.
It'll be good. I think it's going to be an enjoyable year. You gotta table your expectations. Nothing going to come this year, but
that's what my wife says.
It's a building year. Well, she's been saying that for how long? You've been married? About 7 years.
3.
I'm saying that for at least 6. Last call. Yeah, but you got anything new you want to discuss that we?
Yeah, we this would have been a prime time to do it. Talk a little hockey, but our beloved New Jersey Devils are off to a surprising start this year, 9-3-1,
blistering,
and they are second place in the conference, in the Eastern Conference, one of the top 5 teams in the league right now. They're playing the Blues. They're down 2-1. Blues are probably also one of the top 5 teams in the league. But it's been good to see the Devils. Ray Shero, that's how he built the Penguins, with some patience and some good draft picks and some good, some good trades here and there. And he's done that. And the team has gotten a lot faster. They're scoring a lot more goals, albeit not tonight. But it's an exciting, I think Brett would agree, it's an exciting style of hockey that us as Devils fans haven't seen in quite some time. Maybe back to 2003 when they led, it was 01 or 2003 when they actually led the league in goals.
Yeah, I would agree with you and with everything you're saying, but I wasn't paying attention because I was watching the Devils.
Yeah, I mean, you've also got almost the entirety of the third period left, so it's 2-1 right now. They could still come back and make that a game.
Yeah. Also, Brett, should I buy the season and get every game for $140, or should I just buy the Devils games only for $111?
Everything.
I would get everything. Why not?
Definitely.
That was a rhetorical question.
Yeah, that's
Okay, you buy everything. Okay.
you could watch a shit ton of hockey, man.
About your shit ton. Okay.
That's actually their slogan, their sell line.
Yeah.
You can watch a shit ton of hockey
You can watch
at NHL.com.
They should have just like Michael Rappaport do that commercial.
Oh, dude, he's the
As
greatest.
Michael Rapport, you can watch a shit ton of hockey.
I would. How many more people would subscribe?
At least 4, which would, double
I'd say 4D.
4T. Okay. Got it. Bobby, what do you got, man?
I got R.I.P. Roy Halladay.
Yeah, that news. Nikki hit us with that news earlier today. That's horrible. Right?
That sucks.
Do you have any information as to what actually happened? Okay.
Oh, cool, Brett. He was flying his own jet or his own plane or like some funky plane, and he crashed. It crashed.
He was flying it. He was the pilot?
I believe so.
Oh wow. That's horrible.
It's like Thurman Munson.
Or Corey Lytle, right? I don't think was Munson flying the plane? I don't know that he was.
I just see Brett's head like a GIF. He's like a GIF right now.
It's like Boomerang.
Look at. It's sad news for sure, but I want to ask this question.
40 years old. That's terrible.
I want to ask, especially because he has young kids and a wife and a family. It's tragic.
Yeah, he was flying it. Shit.
I love seeing all these Philadelphia fans. All of a sudden, have become all nostalgic for like Roy Halladay.
And they hated him. They couldn't get rid of him fast.
They could not get rid of him quick enough after he like helped them win a World Series and then like pitched a perfect game in 2010 to like clinch the division here in Washington. And then it was like, oh, he sucks. He's a bum.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
But anyway, it's sad. Regardless of that, it's terrible news.
Last bit from me. If anybody is interested in 30 for 30s, if that's your bag,
woo!
The greatest 30 for 30 ever produced will be airing tonight. I can say that with 100% confidence because to be the man, you have to beat the man, and Ric Flair is the man. So Ric Flair kicking out of the life-threatening situation that he found himself in several months ago. They gave him a 20% chance to live. If you remember, we came on this podcast and I was very, very somber about the fact that Ric Flair might die.
And then I told you he died.
Then you told me he died, and I almost cried on air. But he did not. And so the 30 for 30 on the Nature Boy will air tonight at 10 o'clock, probably about 20 to 30 minutes after we go off the air. Check it out. I think even if you're not a wrestling fan, you'll see the impact that Ric Flair's had across the sports landscape. A lot of these young, hot guys,
These hot guys
that are in the game today, especially in football, just channel Ric Flair like they grew up actually watching when there's no way that they did, because he was just not doing his thing when these kids were young. So props to Ric Flair. I'm glad that the 30 for 30 happened. I'm glad that he's alive to actually see it happen. And we'll see if it gets any traction.
Since we're plugging ESPN.
Well, hold on. Will either of you watch it?
I'm actually DVRing it right now. The remote control is in my hand. I am DVRing.
Yeah, I mean, I could get into it. I've watched weirder, worse ones there, like the Youngstown Boys and shit I didn't care about. So yeah, I'll watch it. Okay. You should check us out on the social medias. Turn 2.
Or Low and Outside. Because
I know. I was just kidding. Seeing if you were awake.
Listen, I fear that I'm going to screw that up every week. So
I straight deliver that with a straight face, and I just fucked that up so hard.
But no, you can check us out on social media. Low Outside Sport, lowandoutside.com. We got a little bit of a redesign going on with the website right now. Young Francis McNeil, a buddy of mine, is putting together a different layout for how things go. So if anything on there seems like your particular brand of vodka and you're interested in contributing in any way, whether it's articles or videos or anything like that, that's really why it's there. There's no
relation to Freeman McNeil.
Distant cousins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had that. What was the starting lineup? I had the Freeman McNeil starting lineup guy.
Those were.
Oh, I totally forgot about starting lineups until right now.
Oh, you should get on eBay and buy some. Or tell your wife you won a bunch of starting lineups on eBay. I do.
My buddy Devin, his father, has like an entire room of them, like in boxes, like mint condition. Like when they were out, he became like one of those guys that just literally went to shows and collected them.
Yeah, isn't that at what point does that become creepy?
At that point.
No. Let's like define an age. Like I think when you hit your 30s or you're married and you have kids and you have like a man cave, but half of it is like a weird closet dedicated to like dolls and shit.
Well, I think it depends. Like if you're doing it for the potential resale value, that's a different animal.
Like, are we talking about just like sports stuff, or are we talking about like Beanie Babies and weird shit too?
I don't know. That's probably outside.
I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah. What about like My Little Ponies? Like,
one other plug. Those of you who love watching movies over and over and over and over and over again, you need to check out The Rewatchables. It's a great podcast. They do some great movies. Face Off, Silence of the Lambs. What are some of the other ones? Oh, Fugitive was the one that just happened. Amazing. You find that man.
Good stuff. I'm glad you're plugging other podcasts. That's good. Even though
we're gonna start linking them to.
Even though you can't remember the name of our show, you're plugging your
Turn 2
podcasts. Whatever.
That fucking Instagram beefcake.
Thanks for taking the time, everybody. Until next time.
Desperandum, dear lady, across the desert lies the promised land.
See ya.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Woo!
Adieu, auf Wiedersehen, Gesundheit, farewell. Fare thee well, to you, my own true love. River Mercy, fare thee well. I am bound for California, a place that I know where I'd well. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee.